The Korean Mafia boss chose a fake bride. He didn't know. The black waitress was his real childhood love. The first time Kang Do-hyun looked at me, after 12 years, he did not recognize my face. He recognized my fear. I was standing in the middle of his engagement hall, holding a silver tray of champagne, while every rich guest stared at me like I had walked into a room where poor women were not allowed to breathe too loudly. The hall belonged to the Kang family. Black marble floors, gold dragon carvings on the walls, white orchids hanging from the ceiling, men in dark suits standing at every exit with cold eyes and hidden earpieces. Outside, 6 black SUVs waited under the afternoon sun like a warning. This was not just a rich family event. This was a Korean mafia engagement. And at the front of the room stood Kang Do-hyun, the most dangerous mafia boss in Seoul. Cold face, black suit, sharp jaw, dragon tattoo curling from his wrist to his hand, a silver family ring on his finger. Beside him stood my stepsister, Marissa. She wore a white engagement gown and my stolen silver dragon pendant, the same pendant Do-hyun gave me when we were children. The same pendant he once pressed into my palm and promised, "No matter where you go, I will find you." But he did not find me, he found her. Marissa lifted her chin like a queen and looked straight at me. Then she smiled. Not a kind smile. The kind of smile a woman gives when she knows she has stolen your life and wants you to watch her enjoy it. She pointed at me in front of everyone. "Remove that waitress," she said. "She makes the room look cheap." The whole hall went quiet. My fingers tightened around the tray. One of the mafia guards stepped toward me. Do-hyun did not move at first. He only stared. Not with love, not with memory, with the calm suspicion of a man who had survived too many betrayals. Marissa touched the pendant on her neck. My pendant, my proof, my childhood promise, my stolen identity. "She is just a waitress," Marissa added. "Why is she standing so close to the family table?" Just a waitress, that was what they saw. A black waitress in a white uniform, not the girl who had helped Do-hyun speak again when trauma stole his voice. Not his real childhood sweetheart, not his real first love, not the woman his fake bride had erased. Do-hyun finally raised one hand. The guard stopped. "Who hired her?" he asked. His voice was low, but everyone listened. That was power. He did not need to shout because the room already feared him. The manager stammered, "Sir, she is temporary staff." Marissa laughed softly. "Then temporarily remove her." A few people smiled. I lowered my eyes, but I did not cry. Not there. Not in front of her. Not in front of the man who had promised to find me and then stood beside the wrong woman. Before the guard could touch me, one of the elders approached Do-hyun with a black folder. "Chairman Park is waiting for your signature," he said. The contract opened on the table. I saw the 3rd page. One clause, one trap, and even with my heart breaking, I knew I could not stay silent. Because the boy I once saved was about to be betrayed again. I stepped forward and said, "Don't sign that." Every head turned. Marissa's face went pale. Do-hyun's eyes locked on mine. "What did you say?" he asked. I swallowed. "If you sign that contract, Chairman Park controls the shipment delay, but your family carries all liability. One fake delay, and he can freeze 3 of your clean companies." The room went dead. Chairman Park's smile disappeared. Marissa hissed, "How dare you interrupt him?" But Do-hyun picked up the contract. His eyes moved over the clause. Slowly, his jaw tightened. Then he looked at me again. This time, not like a stranger, like a mystery. And that was how the fake bride's perfect night began to crack. If you have ever been treated like nothing while someone else stole your credit, your love, or your place, stay with me. And subscribe before this story continues, because this is for every woman who stayed quiet long enough to become dangerous. 12 years before Marissa wore my pendant, Kang Do-hyun was not a mafia boss. He was a silent boy behind a locked gate. I met him at St. Mary's Shelter in Busan. I was 10 years old then, a black girl with messy braids, scuffed shoes, and a mouth that moved faster than my fear. People called me Imani Carter. The shelter children called me Annie, because it was easier for them. Do-hyun was 12. His father had just died during a family power struggle. Nobody told me the full story, but Children understand pain even when adults hide the details. After his father's death, Do-hyun stopped speaking. Doctors said it was trauma. His mother said grief had locked his voice inside him. His guards called him young master and stood around him like walls. I just called him lonely. Every afternoon, he sat under the same tree behind the shelter. He never joined the other children, never smiled, never answered anyone. So I sat beside him and talked for both of us. I told him about the stray cat that stole fish from the kitchen. I told him which older boys cheated at cards. I told him that if people became stars after death, then maybe his father was the brightest one above Seoul. He did not answer, but he listened. One day, I found him holding a broken toy dragon. One wing had snapped off. He looked so angry at that toy, but I knew he was not really angry at plastic. I sat beside him and said, "A dragon is still a dragon, even when one wing is broken." He turned his head. I smiled. And a boy is still a boy, even when he forgets how to talk. His eyes narrowed, then he whispered one word. "Annoying." I gasped so loudly his guard almost jumped. "You spoke!" I shouted. "You called me annoying. That counts. I healed you." He looked horrified that his own voice had betrayed him. I laughed until my stomach hurt. After that, he spoke only to me, one word first, then two, then full sentences when no one else was around. His mother cried the first time he called her Mom again. His guards looked at me like I had done something impossible. But I had not done magic. I had simply refused to leave him alone in his silence. The last evening I saw him, he gave me a silver dragon pendant. "It was my father's," he said. "Keep it until I find you." I gave him a red thread bracelet I had made badly with my own hands. "You better find me," I said, "because I'm not easy to replace." His face became serious. "No one can replace you, Annie." I believed him. That was my first mistake. Because years later, my stepsister Marissa found the letters from his mother, found the old shelter photo, found the pendant, and learned everything. She learned his name. She learned my nickname. She learned the promise. Then she stole all of it. By the time I followed her to Seoul, she was already living inside my story. She called herself Annie Carter. She wore my pendant. And Kang Do-hyun, now the feared Korean Mafia boss of the Kang family, believed she was the girl who saved him. Marissa always hated being second. She hated that I learned languages faster than her. She hated that teachers praised me. She hated that even when I had nothing, I still carried myself like something inside me could not be bought. But she hated the pendant most. When she stole it, she did not just take jewelry. She took my proof. Then she disappeared into the Kang family's world. I had no money, no family support, and no powerful name. So I took the only path that could get me close. I became a waitress at Jade Dragon, the private restaurant where the Kang family held meetings. Every night, I served men who could destroy lives with one quiet phone call. I learned their habits, who feared Do-hyun, who hated him, who pretended loyalty, who watched Marissa with suspicion. The Korean Mafia world looked glamorous from far away, but close up it was a chessboard. Every smile was a move. Every gift had a hook. Every handshake carried a warning. Do-hyun ruled it with terrifying calm. He never shouted. He never rushed. He listened, then decided, and once he decided, even the elders obeyed. That was the man Marissa wanted to marry, not the broken boy behind the shelter, not the child who needed a friend, the power, the ring, the black SUVs, the Kang name, and she played the role perfectly. Soft voice, gentle laugh, fake innocence, my pendant resting over her heart like it belonged there. At first, I only wanted my identity back. Then I watched her humiliate servants, threaten maids, lie to Do-hyun's mother, and use my childhood story to climb higher. That was when I understood. Some people do not only steal your place, they become dangerous because they know the truth and still choose the lie. After the engagement contract incident, Do-hyun summoned me to his private office. The room overlooked Seoul. Black glass, dark wood, a dragon crest behind his desk. He stood near the window. "You read contracts," he said. "I read traps." His eyes narrowed slightly. "You speak Korean like someone who learned it young." I listened more than people expected. "And English legal terms?" "I studied at night. What else do you speak? Spanish, French, Mandarin, enough Japanese to catch insults. Enough Russian to know when a man is pretending to negotiate. For the first time, something almost like amusement touched his face. Then his gaze dropped to my neck, to the empty chain where my pendant used to hang. Where is the pendant? He asked. My heart stopped. What pendant? His eyes sharpened. Before he could answer, Marissa entered without knocking. Brother Duhan, she said sweetly. Why is this waitress here? His face closed again. She saved me from a bad contract. Marissa's smile tightened. A waitress? Du-Hyun looked at her. A useful one. That was the moment Marissa knew she had to remove me. The first frame-up came the next day. A diamond bracelet from Marissa's dressing room was found in my staff locker. The manager dragged me into the main hall while guests were still drinking tea. Marissa stood near Do-Hyun, eyes shining with fake disappointment. I don't want to punish her, she said. Maybe she was desperate. Desperate. That word landed exactly where she wanted it to land. A poor black waitress, a rich fake bride, a stolen bracelet. The story wrote itself. Do-Hyun looked at me. Did you take it? No. Marissa sighed softly. Imani, just admit it. I can forgive you. I looked at her and almost smiled. Forgive me. For what? For following the thief into the house she entered with my name? For standing too close to the truth? Do-Hyun turned to security. Show the hallway footage. The guard hesitated. It was deleted, sir. A murmur moved through the hall. Marissa lowered her eyes, hiding victory. I said, check the kitchen camera. Do-Hyun looked at me. I continued. The steel kitchen door reflects the staff hallway. Whoever deleted the main camera forgot about reflections. Marissa's face changed. Not much, but enough. 5 minutes later, the footage played on the wall screen. Everyone watched Marissa's maid open my locker and plant the bracelet inside. The maid collapsed to her knees. Marissa stepped back. That proves nothing, she said quickly. She acted alone. Do-Hyun's voice dropped. Who paid you? The maid trembled. Miss Annie did. She said the waitress was trying to seduce you. The hall erupted. Marissa cried instantly. Perfect tears, perfect timing. I was scared, she whispered. You were looking at her strangely. I thought she wanted to take you from me. A lesser man might have comforted her. Do-Hyun did not. He looked at her for a long moment. Then he turned to me. You may return to work, that was all. No apology, no public correction. No, I believe you. Only permission to keep serving the same people who had just watched me be accused. I bowed and left, but inside, something hardened. Love had made me return to this world. Pain taught me how to survive in it. That night, Do-Hyun's assistant offered me a new contract. Personal translator, triple salary, private security access, direct reporting to the Kang family office. Marissa nearly broke a wineglass when she heard. I signed. Not because I forgave Do-Hyun, not because I wanted to be close to him. Because the closer I stood to the Kang throne, the easier it would be to watch the fake bride fall from it. Working beside Do-Hyun was torture, not because he was cruel, because he remembered almost everything except me. He still hated sweet tea, still tapped his thumb twice when irritated, still looked at the sky whenever someone mentioned fathers, still touched his left wrist when he was tired, as if the red bracelet I gave him was still there. One afternoon, a Japanese investor misread my file. Any Carter? He asked. The room froze. Do-Hyun slowly looked up. Marissa, who had arrived with lunch she did not cook, went pale. I corrected him quickly. Imani Carter. Do-Hyun repeated softly. Annie. My breath caught. The way he said it was not casual. It was a door opening. Marissa laughed too loudly. Many people have nicknames. It means nothing. Do-Hyun did not look at her. He looked at me. Were you ever called Annie? The truth rose to my mouth. Then I saw the pendant on Marissa's neck. My proof, my past, my stolen memory. I looked away. No. His eyes darkened like he knew I was lying, but did not know why. That evening, he placed an old file on his desk. St. Mary's Shelter. My heart almost stopped. Inside was a torn photograph. 2 children under a tree. A Korean boy with haunted eyes. A black girl laughing. My face was half damaged, but I knew myself. He touched the photo with one finger. I searched for her for 12 years, he said. I could not speak. She taught me how to talk again, he continued. She gave me a bracelet. She called me Little Dragon when I was angry. My throat burned. Then he looked at me. Why do you feel like a memory I lost? Before I could answer, the office door burst open. A guard bowed sharply. Boss! Madame Kang collapsed. The room changed instantly. Do-hyun became ice. Where? The old house. Who was with her? The guard hesitated. Miss Annie. Marissa. My stomach turned. Do-hyun's eyes moved to me for one brief second. In that second, I saw the old wound open again. Doubt. Not because he wanted to believe Marissa. Because 12 years of lies had trained him to. And that hurt worse than any accusation. Madame Kang had known. That was what I learned later. She had called me that morning and said only one sentence. If you are the real Annie, come to the old house before sunset. I went. But by the time I arrived, ambulances were already there. Marissa stood in the driveway, sobbing into a silk handkerchief. The maid stood behind her, terrified. Do-hyun stepped out of his SUV like a storm in human form. His men spread across the property. No shouting, no confusion, only cold command. Lock the gates, he ordered. Nobody leaves. Marissa ran to him. Brother Do-hyun, it was her, she cried, pointing at me. Your mother called her here, they argued. Then Mother collapsed. I stared at her. She was not just lying now. She was trying to bury me. Do-hyun turned to me. Were you here? Yes. Did you meet my mother? No. I came after she collapsed. Marissa cried harder. She lies so easily. She has wanted my place from the beginning. Do-hyun's eyes were unreadable. Take Amani to the east room, he said. 2 guards stepped beside me. I did not fight. Not because I was weak. Because I saw the cameras. I saw the maid with shaking hands. I saw Marissa's left sleeve, slightly torn near the cuff. Evidence was everywhere. She was panicking, and panic makes liars sloppy. The east room was cold and windowless. Do-hyun entered after 3 hours. My mother is in a coma, he said. I closed my eyes. I did not hurt her. Then why did she call you the real Annie? The silence between us became unbearable. I looked at him and stopped running from the truth. Because I am. His face changed. I stepped closer. I was the girl at St. Mary's. I sat with you under the tree. I told you dragons are still dragons when their wings break. You called me annoying. It was the first word you spoke after your father died. His breath caught. I continued, each word cutting both of us open. I gave you a red thread bracelet. You gave me the silver dragon pendant. Marissa stole it. She stole the letters from your mother. She stole my shelter name. She stole my childhood promise. Do-hyun backed away like the floor had moved under him. No, yes. His hand went to his wrist, the place where the bracelet used to be. I whispered. You promised no one could replace me. His face broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, but enough for me to see the boy behind the Mafia boss. Annie, he said. I shook my head. My name is Amani, he flinched. Good. He needed to understand. Marissa had stolen my nickname, but pain had taught me to protect my real name. He lowered his head. I believed her. Yes. I let her stand beside me. Yes. I let you be humiliated. I swallowed hard. Yes. For the first time since I returned, Kang Do-hyun looked ashamed. Not angry. Ashamed. That mattered. But it did not fix anything. His mother was still unconscious. Marissa still had the public story, and we had no final proof. So I gave him the only plan that could expose her. Announce the wedding, I said. His eyes snapped up. No. Yes. I will not put you through that. You already put me through worse. This time, we control the ending. Do-hyun announced the wedding for 3 days later. Seoul whispered. The Korean Mafia boss was marrying his childhood sweetheart. The fake bride had won. Marissa walked through the Kang house like an empress. She fired 2 maids, changed the seating chart, ordered custom diamonds, and called every reporter who owed the family a favor. She wanted the world to see her crowned. Good. The higher she climbed, the harder the fall would be. Do-hyun played his part perfectly. Cold, distant, obedient. He allowed Marissa to believe his mother's coma had scared him into marriage. I played mine too. Quiet translator, former waitress, the woman who lost. Behind the scenes, the Kang machine moved. Do-hyun's men recovered deleted camera footage from Madame Kang's hallway. His assistant found Marissa's payment to the maid who planted the bracelet. The private doctor confessed Marissa had asked for a fake pregnancy report. The shelter director sent certified records proving Imani Carter had been called Annie as a child. And in Marissa's locked dressing case, they found my letters from Madame Kang. But the strongest proof was still around Marissa's neck. The silver dragon pendant. She had tried to polish away the scratch on the back, but silver remembers damage. So do women. On the morning of the wedding, Do-hyun came to my office. He wore a black suit with the Kang dragon pin at his collar. He looked like a king preparing for war. "I can stop this now," he said. I shook my head. "No. She wanted a public crown. Give her a public mirror." His eyes softened. "This will hurt." I looked at him. "It stopped being about hurt. It is about truth." He stepped closer, but did not touch me. That restraint mattered. The old Do-hyun would have reached for the memory of me. This one was learning to respect the woman in front of him. "I'm sorry," he said. "Save it for the room that watched me get shamed." He nodded once. Then he left. For the first time, I felt the weight shift. Marissa thought the wedding was her victory. But it was really her trial, and every guest was about to become a witness. The Kang wedding hall was built like a palace. White flowers covered the walls. Gold lights fell over the aisle. The Kang family dragon crest burned on the screen behind the altar. Every Mafia elder came. Every business rival came. Every rich woman who had laughed at me came. Even Chairman Park sat in the front row, pretending he had never tried to trap Do-hyun with a contract. Marissa entered, wearing a gown so long 2 assistants carried the train. My pendant rested against her chest. She smiled like a woman who believed lies became truth if enough powerful people clapped. Do-hyun waited at the altar. His face was calm. Too calm. I stood near the side entrance in a simple black dress, no apron, no tray, no lowered head. Marissa saw me and almost stumbled. Then she smiled. She thought I had come to watch her win. The officiant began. He spoke of fate, childhood love, lost promises, 2 hearts finding each other again. Every word made the lie uglier. Then he asked if anyone objected. Marissa looked at me, daring me to speak. I did not. Madame Kang did. Her voice filled the hall. "I object." Every head turned. Madame Kang stood at the back entrance, pale but alive, supported by a nurse and flanked by Kang guards. Marissa's face turned white. "Mother," Do-hyun said softly. Madame Kang lifted one hand. "Not yet, son." Then she looked at Marissa. Let the bride explain why she stood in my room and begged me not to tell my son that the waitress was the real Annie. The hall exploded in whispers. Marissa shook her head. "She is confused. She just woke from a coma." The screen behind the altar turned on. Footage appeared. Madame Kang's sitting room. Marissa standing too close. Marissa's voice, sharp and desperate. "If you tell Do-hyun I'm not Annie, I lose everything." The room went silent. Then another clip played. Marissa paying the maid. Another. Marissa speaking with the doctor about the fake pregnancy report. Another. Marissa ordering my letters burned. By the time the screen went black, she was shaking. Do-hyun stepped forward. His voice was calm enough to frighten people. "Marissa Vale, you entered my family with a stolen identity. You wore the pendant I gave to Imani Carter. You framed her for theft. You tried to force a fake marriage with a fake pregnancy. And when my mother discovered the truth, you tried to silence her." Marissa screamed, "I did it because I loved you." Do-hyun's eyes were cold. "No, you loved the chair beside me." That line hit the room like thunder. The elders lowered their eyes. Marissa pointed at me. She was nothing. She was a poor black waitress. I only took what she could never protect. I stepped into the aisle. This time, nobody stopped me. I walked slowly until I stood between the fake bride and the Mafia boss. Then I looked at the room that had once laughed at me. "She stole my name," I said. "She stole my pendant. She stole my childhood promise. But she could never steal the night I taught him to speak." Do-hyun turned to me. In front of every elder, every rival, every guest, and every guard, the Korean Mafia boss lowered himself to one knee. The room gasped. I froze. He bowed his head. "Imani Carter," he said. "I failed to recognize the woman who saved me before I had power." I let a fake bride stand beside me while the real one was humiliated in my house. Before this family, before my enemies, and before every person who looked down on you, I apologize. My throat tightened. That was not forgiveness. But it was accountability. And for the first time, the room saw me clearly. Not as a waitress, not as a scandal. As the woman their mafia boss had wronged, Marissa lost control. She ripped the pendant from her neck and threw it toward the floor. Do-hyun caught it before it hit the marble. His face darkened. That belonged to my father, he said. Then it belonged to her. You do not throw what was never yours. The guard stepped forward. Marissa backed away. You can't arrest me, she cried. I am your bride. Do-hyun looked at the altar. There is no bride here. That destroyed her more than shouting would have. Chairman Park stood quietly, trying to leave. Do-hyun did not even turn his head. Chairman Park. The old man froze. You signed as witness for her false identity documents. Chairman Park's lips trembled. I was misled. Do-hyun smiled without warmth. Then you can explain that to the prosecutors waiting outside. The side doors opened. Legal officers entered with Fakong family security. Not guns, not chaos. Just clean public consequences. That was smarter. That was safer. That was worse for people who lived on reputation. Marissa looked around for help. Nobody moved. The women who had praised her dress looked away. The elders who had accepted her gifts lowered their eyes. Fake power always dies alone. As the officers took her arms, Marissa screamed at me. You think he loves you? He forgot you. He chose me. I looked at her calmly. No, Marissa, he chose a lie. But you built it. Now live under it. She tried to lunge, but the guards held her back. Her veil tore. Her perfect hair fell loose. The fake bride, who had entered like a queen, was dragged out like a warning. Nobody clapped. Nobody needed to. The silence was better. Do-hyun stood and walked to me with the pendant in his open palm. He did not try to put it around my neck. Good. He was learning. It was always yours, he said. I took it. The silver felt heavy. So did the apology. So did the past. He looked at me with eyes full of regret. I know I have no right to ask for forgiveness. You don't, I said. He nodded. I know, you believed her. Yes. You protected her. Yes. You let me serve at her engagement while she wore my life around her neck. His jaw tightened. Yes. I looked around the hall. At the elders. At the women. At the servants. At the guards. Then back at him. I needed this truth spoken. But do not mistake justice for romance. Pain crossed his face. I won't. I turned and walked out of the hall. This time, nobody called me cheap. Nobody called me desperate. Nobody called me just a waitress. And behind me, the most dangerous Korean mafia boss in Seoul stayed on one knee a little longer. Not because I asked him to. Because for once he understood the weight of what he had failed to see. 3 months later, I opened my own office near the Han River. Imani Carter International Translation and Contract Strategy. The sign was small, the pride was not. My first clients were women who reminded me of myself. Immigrant women, restaurant owners, cleaners starting businesses, single mothers signing contracts they did not fully understand. Girls who had been told to smile while someone robbed them politely. I charged the rich full price. I helped the vulnerable for almost nothing. Madame Kang sent flowers every Monday. Her cards were always dramatic. One said, "My son remains foolish, but the office is lovely." Another said, "If you need me to scold him, call anytime." I kept every card. Do-hyun did not send flowers. He sent clients quietly. Companies with real needs, deals with clean terms. Women who needed protection but did not want charity. Every referral came through his assistant with only 3 letters. KDH, he never came inside. For weeks, his black SUV parked across the street, always far enough not to pressure me, always close enough to make sure no enemy of the Kang family bothered my door. At first, it irritated me. Then I realized something. He was protecting without claiming. That was new. One rainy afternoon, I found a small box on my desk. Inside was a red thread bracelet. Ugly, uneven, clearly handmade by a man with too much guilt and no crafting skill. The note said, "I tried to remake what you gave me. It is terrible. I know." I laughed before I could stop myself. Then someone knocked. Do-hyun stood outside, holding 2 cups of tea. "No sugar," he said quickly. I stared at him. "You learned." I'm trying," I let him in. We sat across from each other while rain slid down the windows. For a while, neither of us spoke. Then he said, "I searched for Annie for 12 years, but I searched for the child who saved me, not the woman she became. That was my failure. I listened," he continued. "Marissa gave me a memory. You gave me truth. I should have known the difference." "Yes," I said. "You should have." He accepted that without defense. That mattered more than another apology. Then he looked at my office walls, the files, the client folders, the small plant near the window. "You built this yourself." "I did. I'm proud of you." I almost told him he had no right to be, but his voice held no ownership, only respect. So I said, "Thank you." His eyes softened. "I won't ask you to come back to the Kang house." "Good. I won't ask you to stand beside me." "Better. I will ask if I can bring tea again next week." I looked at the ugly bracelet, then at him. "One tea," I said. "No promises." His mouth lifted slightly. "No promises." That was how healing began. Not with a wedding. Not with a kiss. Not with a mafia boss claiming the woman he lost. But with a man learning to sit across from the woman he wronged and not demand instant forgiveness. 6 months later, Madame Kang opened a foundation under my direction. The Kang St. Mary Foundation. Its purpose was simple. Help orphaned girls, immigrant women, and low-wage workers with education, housing, legal support, and contract protection. Madame Kang said it was my idea. It was not. It was hers. But she told me, "You lived it, so you should lead it." The launch banquet was held in the same hall where Marissa had humiliated me. I walked in wearing a gold dress I bought with my own money. No tray, no uniform, no fear. The room noticed. Of course it did. Power respects what it once ignored when it realizes someone stronger is watching. Do-hyun stood near the side wall, not beside me, not touching me, not claiming me, just present. Madame Kang introduced me. "Miss Amani Carter is the reason this foundation exists." The applause started soft, then grew. I stepped to the microphone. "I know what it means to be overlooked," I said. "I know what it means to have people see your uniform before they see your mind. I know what it means to have your name, your story, and your work stolen by someone louder." The room quieted. But I also know this. A stolen identity does not erase the real woman. A fake bride does not become real because powerful people clap for her. And a waitress does not become valuable only when a mafia boss finally recognizes her. Do-hyun lowered his eyes. "Good. The truth was not meant to comfort him. It was meant to free me," I continued. "This foundation is for every woman told she should be grateful for crumbs. Every girl told she was lucky to be tolerated. Every worker called replaceable by people who could not last one day in her shoes." The applause came louder this time. Realer. After the speech, Chairman Park approached me. He bowed so low I almost felt sorry for his back. "Miss Carter," he said. "I hope there is no bad blood." I smiled. "There is memory, Chairman Park. That is worse." His face tightened. Do-hyun heard it and turned away to hide a smile. That evening, on the balcony, he handed me a key. "What is this?" "The old St. Mary's building in Busan," he said. "I bought it." I stared at him. He added quickly, "Not for the Kang family. For the foundation, in your name. You decide what happens to it." My throat tightened. That was the difference. The old Do-hyun would have given me something and expected gratitude. This Do-hyun gave me power and expected nothing. I closed my hand around the key. "Thank you." He nodded. Then he said softly, "No matter where you go, I will find you." The old promise. I looked at him. "No, Do-hyun. This time you don't find me." His face stilled. "This time," I said, "you walk beside me only if I allow it." He lowered his head. "Then I'll wait until you do." 1 year later, St. Mary's shelter reopened. The broken building became warm again. Cream walls, new beds, a bright kitchen, a rebuilt playground, a legal office for girls who needed help, a language classroom where nobody laughed at accents. Above the entrance hung a silver dragon sign. Small, quiet, strong. Madame Kang cried during the ribbon cutting and blamed allergies. Do-hyun stood behind her with a handkerchief ready. I pretended not to notice. After the ceremony, I found a little boy sitting alone under the new tree. He held a toy car with one missing wheel. Everyone said he was shy. I knew silence when I saw it. I sat beside him. A car is still a car, I said, even when one wheel is missing. He glanced at me. I smiled. And a boy is still a boy, even when he does not feel like talking. Behind me, Do-hyun stopped walking. The boy stared at the ground for a long time. Then he whispered, "Annoying." My eyes filled. I laughed softly. Do-hyun turned away, pretending to look at the sky, but I saw his shoulders move. Later, when the children were eating cake, he found me near the gate. No guards beside him, no Mafia mask, just a man who had finally learned that love without respect is only possession-wearing perfume. "I have a question," he said. I raised an eyebrow. "Careful. Dinner. That is not a question. Will you have dinner with me?" I looked at him for a long moment. This was not the boy I lost. Not exactly. This was not the Mafia boss who failed me. Not exactly. This was someone trying to become worthy of the woman standing in front of him. "One dinner," I said. His face softened. "No sweet tea," I added. "No sweet tea. And no calling me Annie in public." "Imani," he said. "Correct. Clear. Mine." We walked back toward the shelter together, not as a perfect love story, not as a stolen childhood promise magically repaired. Something slower, stronger, earned. For years, I thought the happy ending was the Korean Mafia boss finally choosing me. I was wrong. The real ending was me choosing myself first. I was the black waitress they called cheap. The real childhood sweetheart they tried to erase. The woman whose name was stolen, but whose voice survived. Marissa stole my pendant. She stole my nickname. She stole my place for a while. But she could never steal the truth. Because the truth has a voice. And sooner or later, it speaks loud enough for the whole room to hear.